Do you guys want to see my autographed copy of The Casual Vacancy, JK Rowling's new novel for adults? So I met JK Rowling last Thursday, no big deal. It's a pretty big deal. I'm using the word met pretty loosely, but being one of 900 or so people in a fast-moving signing line is pretty much more than I'd ever imagined for coming close to meeting JK Rowling. Like, a couple months ago, the Leaky Cauldron tweeted that tickets were about to go on sale for an event for her book launch, and I'm like, I'm going to be in London then, I'm going to that. I had to use the computer while I was at work, and then there was an error, so I had to email the ticket office to get a ticket at all. But when I had one, I was so excited. And then with everything else that was going on, it kind of moved to the back of my mind, especially with the relative lack of hype that led up to this book release. But it was always like a little bit there in my head, like, what am I gonna say to JK Rowling? And, you know, later, what am I gonna wear to meet JK Rowling? So finally last Thursday, I got all dressed, and then my plans to walk down to the South Bank Centre were thwarted by the good English rain, so I had to use my phone and get on a bus, but I was still able to get down there and it was all fine and good. This was my ticket. I'm currently in Queen Elizabeth Hall, where JK Rowling is due to start speaking in about 10 minutes. That's very exciting. And then there was the actual event, which was set up like a lot of author events are. Part reading, part interview, part Q&A. And during the whole thing, she was just really funny and lovely and just everything I could have hoped for up there on the stage in the flesh. And then the event was over and I got in the queue for the book signing, and then at that point I wasn't exactly panicking, but I was a little bit panicking. And I finally got up there and she took my book and I said thank you so much for everything, and she said thank you, and then I was ushered away because it was a quick, fast moving line with lots of people. Guys, I just met JK Rowling and she signed my book and I said thank you for everything, and I think I might cry right now. I didn't really cry. It was just very strange to be there, especially at the end after I'd gone all through and everyone was kind of crowding around this barrier taking photos, and I kind of did too for a minute, but it just felt very strange. I'm a big believer in the whole everyone is a person idea. Like at LeakyCon, I was much more comfortable asking John Green and Maureen Johnson how exactly they wanted their signing line to be organized than I was actually asking them to sign my books. But JK Rowling is a big deal. When I was walking home afterwards, the whole thing was kind of a blur, and then when I got back to my dorm, I just had this kind of bouncy feeling. Even though I didn't have any sort of meaningful connection, like I did with some of the awesome people who I met at LeakyCon, to just have exchanged words with someone who was directly or indirectly responsible for so many aspects of my life, especially like, you know, internet and community and that kind of thing. Like, if not for her, I wouldn't have LeakyCon to compare it to, and who knows what state Nerdfighters would be, and just everything. I was there, and I got to thank her, and that's pretty cool.